That's it, yes. Those people were on the extreme.
Hey, I have right at 12:30 and you're calling to order the quarterly meeting of our Decatur County Reinvestment Advisory Council. There was an agenda passed out last week. The first item on that agenda, actually, the minutes is the approval of the minutes from last meeting. Last meeting would have been March 6th of 2026. Those minutes were emailed to everyone. I would entertain a motion that those minutes be approved. I'll make that motion by Bill. I'll hear a second.
I'll second.
Second by Abby. Any questions or discussions about those minutes? There being none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Motion passes. Minutes are approved. Funeral grants.
So since our last meeting, Gracie continues to obviously do great things for our agency, also for Decatur County. She currently is working on some things. We have a summer life craft program with juveniles. We currently have 8 juveniles in that program. Some of those juveniles came to us from probation, but others are just identified in the community as high risk or just need some extra intervention. This summer, we have partnered with different people and agencies in the community, and we will take those juveniles once a week to visit and learn things from each of these people. Last week we went to Triple R Ranch and met with Katie. For example, we have a financial literacy program. We go to the Bread of Life, do a cooking class. We have a mechanic that's going to teach our students how to change the oil and change tires and things like that. We will be going to the Greensburg Fire Department. We also are going to do some community service with Josh Coombs out in St. Paul. And we'll be going to Lakeview Wellness at Lake Santee. That one's going to be kind of neat. Adam Kennedy, who is on our wellness program, is going to be teaching the kids how to essentially fish out at Lake Santee. So that'll be nice. This program will go throughout the summer. Gracie's also teaching a juvenile MRT program this summer. That is also once a week. She has 6 juveniles in that. Gracie continues to teach adult MRT at Core Services. She currently has 5 adults in that program. Since she started MRT, she has had 5 graduate from that program. And I don't know if I reported last time, but Wellness Corps has incorporated MRT as part of one of their phases. So anyone going through the Wellness Corps program will also participate in MRT. Over the last quarter, Gracie has worked on partnering with other agencies in our community to create programs. She has partnered with New Directions in Greensburg to create a safe dating program that she is going to bring to all the schools in the county in the fall. The high schools. She also has been working with Champions of Youth to help find mentors for our juveniles, but also any other juveniles in need in the community. Gracie's worked with the CIT team to bring a TBRI, which is trust-based relational intervention. They're going to have a training in Decatur County on October 7th and 8th. This training has seats for up to 50 people. I know that CIT will take advantage of this, probation. We've reached out to all the schools. I think counselors are going to go. And if you don't know what TBRI is, it's essentially kind of a trauma based intervention situation. So I put in my note here, it's a whole child approach that accesses and addresses a child's brain, body, biology, and behavior. Basically empowering, connecting, and correcting, figuring out what happened to people when they were younger to figure out why maybe they act the way they do now. So I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity for our community. Gracie also has joined the Indiana Youth Institute Luncheon Series. So she will be Decatur County's rep. The Luncheon Series hosts a lunch training every couple months in Decatur County that's invited for anybody. Gracie will help come up with different topics and ideas that would benefit people in our community to learn from. Gracie's working on a self-help bookshelf for, Wellness Corps in our department so that people can check out different books to learn different things. She's also working on a wall of change in our department, which is then identifying different probationers and wellness corps participants that have just excelled and to show that, change is possible and that continues to do well. And that all that on top of Gracie has some juveniles that she supervises on probation, going to court, doing detention hearings, all of those things. She finished the parenting program that we had during the school year. There were 5 sessions. And then just continuing to find out what we need and how to address the needs of kids in the community. The grant cycle that we currently have for her ends in October of this year. So we are just working on just spending those funds.
You know how much is left or will be left?
I think we have around maybe 20 to 30,000 left. And that it pays her salary, but it also pays different supplies and incentives and things like that. Those funds as well.
That's almost going to cover her salary for 2026.
Yeah, the way we have it set up, it should cover her for the remainder of the year.
Probably not next year though.
Definitely not next year. We will run out of funding for her position with this source by the end of 26.
And can this grant be renewed or reapplied for?
Yep, and I've already spoke with them about renewing the grant. So we have an amount of money that is available for our county. And once that money is gone, then there will be no more in that account. There's around $10,000 left that I will apply for within July. And if we are awarded that, then I'm asking for that full amount, that full $10,000.
Any questions for Jeremiah?
And how does that work for 2027? They'll go forward for Gracie.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We're all talking to Bill, really. But I think so. Gracie was, we asked the council for her, a second juvenile probation officer. We were one of very few counties that only had one juvenile probation officer. No support, no prior support. Maybe Rush County, maybe Switzerland County, but there's such smaller counties that it made sense for them to have one. We've always gotten by with one, and it's just when you hear all the things that Gracie does right now, it's almost unimaginable to have just one person try to do it all. So about 4 years ago, council approved us to hire her, and it was just a position. It wasn't necessarily her. It went unfilled the first year. And the reason for that is you have to have a college degree to be a probation officer, and the salary, no fault of anyone, but the salary was lower than anyone with a college degree would want. So we started talking to Gracie in the second year, and she was undecided whether she wanted to go this direction or still come with us. And we finally talked her in about halfway through the year into coming with us. So we did not use the money council gave us the first year. We only used a small bit of it the second year. Third year, we got the grant. So we haven't used it. We really haven't used any of the money that the council has given us the entire time that the position's been awarded to us. So I would be amazed if council would take it from us. And then again, we're looking at Bill because he will help make that decision. But it would surprise me if she is on the one person that would get cut out. She's not the last person hired in Fort Services. I don't think if we ever got into that position, it's last hired, first laid off. I think that's the way it works most places. So that's kind of where we are with her. We've not really ever used her entire salary that the council provided us. Until next year, maybe.
Have you supplemented with the county grant to make her pay?
No, she is, so probation officers are paid on a scale that the state does. So she got a bump in salary from her initial salary because she had been a year in. I think they're get a little bump. we pay whatever the state says we are supposed to pay.
So when I applied for the grant, we knew the budget of what she would need for those first 2 years. That's what I asked for.
Unless I have any questions? Senate Bill 9 report.
It has not been released yet, so I will email that out once again to you guys, and then I will send it to the state, closer to our due date.
Well, there's no old business on the agenda. Under new business, this board administers the opioid funds that have been provided to the county and continue to be provided to the county. So what we do here is we are accepting applications for those funds. We review those at these meetings and make recommendations to county council, and then they'll make the final decision. We do that these for the council. And we have several to consider. The first one is one that we've been talking about for a little while. This foundation is still recovery. This is one of our residential programs. We have 3 groups that have residential programs. Alonzo is the women's group. The ARC is one of the ministers, and foundations is the third one. They had previously applied and we had several questions to them, and that ultimately resulted in asking them to reapply and be more specific to what they're asking for. I was pretty impressed with the application that they sent out this time around. It's very specific. They're wanting to open a residential facility in Westwood, which Bill can tell us is probably the places we need that, or in most places in Midtown. But that's what they're asking for. What we have done is we've assisted Spokanza. We paid off on early mortgages, pretty significant amount. We gave them a contingent award on the vehicle replacement, which they did not receive because they couldn't get matching funds. So we tried. We found with the ARC last year, I think we had more money to pay down on them. We wouldn't pay it off, but it was $80,000 to them. That was contingent upon them utilizing Recovery Works, the Recovery Works program, which is a financial incentivized program. To date, they have not presented to me, which I was trying to be the gatekeeper for that. They haven't presented to me that they are doing that. So that 80,000 has not been get over to them, and it won't unless they do. So the question here is Foundations for Recovery. Again, we could do something for them, but they also don't participate in Recovery Works. Mr. Coyne, because that very strong feelings about that. But they have given us a more specific outline as far as what they would do with the funds that they were awarded. It seems legitimate. So I'll open the floor up to any questions and discussions about that application. Anyone might have.
Will this be different than what they're doing in Greensburg, the halfway house, where they're calling it 3/4 house?
They're going at a 3/4 house, so I think it's a little different than their main 2. Their main 2 are not 3/4 houses. The specific differences, I can't tell you, but
Why though? Why the difference? What's the?
instead of just a regular house. I don't know.
I wonder if through wellness code, transportation is always an issue. Westport is not near a lot of things. I'm sure it's a fine community to live in, but transportation would be essential. If you're receiving any type of treatment services, it's going to be in Greensburg or Columbus or somewhere. And there's some employment, but most of the people we deal with work in places in Greensburg, and transportation is always an issue. We're always worried about. And I don't know if that's a concern that they have thought about or thought through.
I think it would be beneficial, like we've done with the ARC, was to get a list of questions together, meet with them, ask them to provide like their balance sheet, income summary, or the things that we asked the ARC for, where they're at on their recovery works, because I believe they're trying to get it, or wanting to get it, and then meet with them and then kind of come back and we can have all these questions answered, or they can come to the next meeting and answer these questions.
As I'm supportive of them, I like what they're doing, the participants in wellness coach have done there. I think I haven't really heard anything that's an issue there. So I'm supportive of them, but those are things that just came to mind when I read the application.
I think you got the ARC contingent upon them with the recovery works. I think you'd have to do that also with this as well, right?
I was gonna bring that up. But
I mean,
you wanna
you
make one
can't,
do it, we probably ought to.
I think you need to cut across the board.
The other thing is it's always nice when they come in so we can ask questions. They've not done that. I wish they would. So what we can do today is table this till the next meeting, invite them to come in so we can put that proposal to them. What if we made it contingent upon you participating in recovery works to find out what problems. It's clearly an issue. I don't know a lot about the recovery works enough to say they're right or wrong, but as of right now, the ARC isn't. They'd rather not have money. I'd like to know why.
They're giving up $40,000.
What's that?
They're giving up $40,000.
They're giving them 80.
Well, the 40 was paid immediately. Is what your minutes say. And then 40 was contingent upon them recovery.
Well, what happened was that was a motion
Oh,
that somebody amended that motion, and ultimately it was 80,000. So long as they haven't gotten anything at this point, but they have to show proof that they're utilizing recovery works. Okay.
you've had some change in leadership there also.
But I think that was that last meeting. Difference.
I don't think that's playing into that as well.
But I liked when Speranza was here and could answer questions. I liked when the ARC was here to answer questions. I really think before we can pull the trigger on this one, we need to give them the same opportunity.
I agree.
It's a significant request. It's worth spending a little time doing.
I agree. I'd love to treat everybody with these residential programs the same. Same dollar amount, we could. It's just, let's make sure we give everybody the same opportunity to explain themselves. And so far, I think we've given these guys a couple opportunities and they haven't. Any idea, you've had lunch with them?
I might be able to help explain that a little bit, and I guess I'm a little hesitant to talk about somebody's health in a public meeting, but he posted about it in a public forum, so I think I can. Chris Uli has been undergoing significant and aggressive cancer treatments for a pretty bad cancer diagnosis. Seems to be coming out of it on the other end, and I've seen him at a few things now recently where he seems to be recovering. And so I don't think that his lack of being here should be a reflection of his desire and willingness to do so in the future. I think he'll be willing to do that, especially if we ask him to.
Does everybody think we want to make a motion to table their request and invite them to the next meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made by Brian, second by Bill. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor of tabling Foundations for Recovery's application until the September meeting, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries, so that's what we'll show up with the. So maybe we'll get a letter out.
I'll email them, but so I should ask for them the same things I asked them to provide as well, right? Prior to, is that what you're gonna?
I was gonna ask, what do you want? How do we get questions down? We need to send.
I guess I would send out anybody that has specific questions for the ARC, let me know. I'll send it out to them next week, so then they have an idea too of what our questions are. Yes, I'm sorry, foundations. And along with the items that we need as far as like their budget.
Sounds great.
Invite them to the September meeting. Some definitely don't want to say no, but just treat everybody the same. So the second application was from Court Services. This pertains to the Gracie question. And it's seeking funds. I feel like Judge Bailey and I will not be voting on this one just simply because Gracie's considered our employee. But I'd like to see what council does first. I think it sets a bad precedent to start looking for money before, that's already been awarded to us. Because I haven't heard anybody on council grumbling that Gracie's not worth it, or we're not gonna.
Well, it's obvious, listening to Jeremiah, the value that you have. You've got to see the value you have.
So this would be another one to potentially table until September, and we'll have an idea of what council's gonna do, and should by then. We can always fall back on this, but I feel like right now, if opioid pays some of her funds, and that just sets the bar lower, and we may not ever get back up to where we started. So my position would be in August when we go talk to them that, you gave this to us and we haven't ever spent money that you've given us, and and it's worked very well. So we'd like to continue, and actually next year we'll probably use the money that you gave us 4 years ago. Kind of what I'm going to, preach. So
I'll make that motion to table Court Services.
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to table Court Services.
Motion's been made by Bill. Is there a second? Second. Bill by Brian, or a second by Brian. Any questions or discussions about that? If being none, all in favor of tabling Court Services grant application, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. So that one will be tabled until the September meeting. The third application is from the Decatur County Memorial Hospital, EMS. This appears to be for two pieces of medical equipment to assist in reviving overdosed individuals. That's how I read it. Brian, are you familiar with what they're
Yeah,
asking?
we've used these at Greensburg Fire. They have them. They do on a CPR where you don't have to manually do CPR. It is a device that goes around your chest and does compressions for you. And you can, it works really well. I've used it myself personally, working at the station, in an assisted EMS with using them, and they're very valuable. They do have them. I don't know if they're replacing or what. They do have them. We have two at Greensburg Fire, and I think they have one for each ambulance, 2 or 3. So I didn't read this application thoroughly. But
That's a question we should ask is, if you already
are they
have
replacing or
why do we need to update? Maybe there's a new version of them.
It's support the purchase, deployment, and training associated with devices. I think if you feel like, yeah.
I don't know, but as far as if they're replacing it or.
People want to ask them any questions about this. It's a pretty good amount of money that they're asking for, but it seems like it's right in line with the stuff we want to do with these funds. If they save one life, it's certainly will worth it. But anybody have any before we vote? Does anybody have any questions you want to ask them? Are these new?
I guess my only question would be that, are they new or are you replacing what you have, updating like a better model or? Yeah, that would be my only question.
We believe that these are out there and that they're in the community already. What is unique about your request that you would buy 2 new ones? I don't know if we have shelf life.
That's what
After a while, you have, I don't know. They just don't know. But I wouldn't think the hospital would ask for funds that wasn't necessary.
well, they always make newer and better devices, and this may be a newer, better device that is easier to use or certain.
You sure Matt would be willing to come Thank you for the questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
I would feel better about expending public monies, having heard that explanation, than just saying, yeah, here's $30,000.
I'll agree with Nate, yeah.
If we could ask them to come tell us that, it's probably an easy lift to say yes, but
I don't know, but it doesn't even have to come. I mean, somebody just needs,
You know, just,
he could come, but
is this something new? Is this something the
Yeah.
county already has? And what is the benefit of two new ones if you already have?
Can we call him?
Yeah.
I think that'd be the easy way.
You have two.
okay.
Oh, it's all new.
Well, we can take care of it now.
Then I'll wait for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
No sense in making one ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're running out of time.
It's actually in a public meeting.
No. More application. Lunch in there.
Pitching then,
Yeah.
pitching more.
Make it be soft, that's it.
Oh,
Like your company, that's all they could run out.
I hope Buffalo should do.
Like Jason.
It went to voicemail.
So we should ask them questions and won't take very long, because I think we're all in favor of it. It's in line with the stuff we want to do. But we had those couple questions answered. We did be quick enough to vote in September. But
I'd make that motion to table, pending the September meeting and getting answers to those questions.
motion by Nathan, is there a second?
I'll second.
Bill, for the seconds. Any questions or discussions about that?
Are you guys wanting to action? Or just the answer of new or?
They made the money.
My motion would be that until we get that we table till September, and then we ask them to answer those questions, whether that's in writing or give them the option to show up.
Perfect.
Okay. So, any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries, so that one is also tabled until September. We had a late one come in that didn't even make it on the agenda. I don't know that we have to even talk about it today, and we even have a motion to table because it's not on the agenda. That is the request, is it the Methodist Church?
Yes.
That requested, my first impression looking at that, though if you didn't see it, it's like within the last 3 days.
Yeah, I think.
It's not geared toward opioid minimization in any way. And that's one thing we've always talked about. We wanted to keep these awards for that. But the other question is, if we award this, we're going to do it the next church. The next church, or the next
Precedent.
we don't have enough money to do that, to treat everybody equally like we do the 3 residential programs. So that's my 2 cents. I think the one that we did for the branch group was to do some programming that was a little bit more geared toward youth. I'm not sure what, this is just general expenses. There was no,
That's what it looks like. Like 10% of their general expenses.
yeah.
That's how I read it too.
Yeah, and it may be very helpful for homeless people, but I don't know that there's a direct nexus between the opioid funds and that.
That's a stretch.
We approve this one, then we're going to be on the for everybody else, because they don't get out quick. You apply, you get it, then I don't know. But we don't have to address this today. Or the reason we didn't make our agenda.
Yeah, we say don't have to, can we? If we don't get on the agenda, I'm not sure we.
I don't think we can,
I'm
because
not
they,
sure that we should.
I don't think we should either. It needs to be put on the agenda for September as well, but not as a table item, just as new business.
New business.
New business. I fear feeling that. Unless we do have unlimited money, you spread average, we don't. The numbers that Abby gave us in her email, I haven't heard anything about what is coming in September, but she has, and that's good. We've got more money to deal with. We have to be careful with the snapshot on what we had though. If she is, if you're getting that money or those numbers from the auditor, I'll tell you what they do. They don't take into account encumbered money. They will give you what is there. So we, for example, we have the drugs, treatment program we're paying monthly. They're only telling you this is what we paid out, not what we have left. Same thing on the ARC. That number they give you will include 80,000, even though we've encumbered it contingently. I think until the commissioners vacate that or take it out, we can't consider it money had, that we have it. So just keep in mind, I will try to, I didn't get a chance to this week, but I will try to have an accurate number exactly where we stand. That includes money that we know we're going to pay out, money that we might pay out to see what we've got left. We don't know if we have money coming. I just noticed that somehow her number was different than what I came up with, and I finally figured out, wait a minute, they're just telling us what they have got in the bank versus what we know has already been awarded. So there's a difference.
Judge, the numbers of like the 32,000, 72,000, those are the numbers that I have calculated after the pending. Like,
I didn't know if you were getting the numbers from the auditor, because I know that's what they have given us. If we want to, I could not, I just looked and figure out why is it all? They're taking into account what they've paid, not what they're about.
they don't know what they're about.
That's the difference. We would have enough to do certain foundations, hospital, which would be able to do that. September will probably have to find out when we do. I'll try to have a very specific rundown. If I ever come, I don't need to come in front of you this session, but if I do, I'll have it. Everything that we.
That always helps, as you said, once you've got earmarked or, and what you have.
The longer the list gets, the more we are prone to errors. So we need to keep that accurate.
Yeah.
Don't give the impression that the money's missing and you don't have to. Don't come after me. That's it. Okay, that is one thing that we have left for the regular meetings. September 11th is the next one. December 4 is the last one for the year. I'd entertain the motion that we adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bill, is there a second? Second. And Brian, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You are good. Good work this week.